Good afternoon. Welcome to STEAM Monday. I'm Ms. Chinasa with the Schenectady County Public Library, and today's program is in recognition of an annual event, Earth Day. Earth Day this year is on Thursday, and so today's program will be about making a solar oven. Our solar oven is going to be used to make some really quick meals and snacks outside using the heat from the sun. So what you'll need for this project, I have laid out in front of me. If you don't have them on hand from our sneak peek, then take a few minutes to pause this video to collect them. So you're going to need a pizza box that's clean. You'll need also aluminum foil. I would pick a heavy duty one, some plastic wrap, black construction paper, a few sheets, an old newspaper, a ruler or a wooden spoon. This is going to be used to prop the lid open, a pair of scissors or box cutters, and just remember that you'll need parent supervision to use those items. Some clear tape, packing tape works well too. You'll need a freezer bag or a glass bowl. We will be making in our solar oven s'mores, so you'll need a couple graham crackers, a bar of chocolate, and some marshmallows. And I thought we'd take a stab at making a grilled cheese. So I've got the bread and our cheese is in the fridge. I didn't grab it before I started the video. When we set our solar oven outside, you're going to need a thermometer. So I have a thermometer that I grabbed that usually sits inside the oven so that we can gauge what temperature it is outside. And you might want a second thermometer. I have a digital one to read the outside temperature or inside temperature, but you will probably be able to find a meat thermometer. So that's one that has a stick that sticks into the food and tells you what temperature, the internal temperature of an item is. And that you can probably easily find in your house. If not at the Family Dollar or Walmart. Now, just as a caution, because the sun on various days will heat up to different temperatures, always select food that you can make sure that it's cooked. So cheese is usually pasteurized and so won't make us sick if we eat it cold. If you try to make a hot dog, it's the same thing, but we usually want to make sure it gets to in a certain internal temperature. So I would steer away from anything that is raw that you can make in your solar oven. So without further ado, I will set things aside and then I'll show you how to make your solar oven, and then we'll set it outside and speed it up to see how our meals cook up. Okay, we're going to get started by cutting the top of our pizza box. You can use a ruler or a finger to approximate an inch from the corner of what we're going to cut up. Since my box is a bit large, I'm going to do 2 inches inside from the corner. So the top, I'll make it a little square, and I will show you what it looks like in a second. take our, 2 inches from the corner, looks like those squares on all 4 sides. And we are going to take our scissors, puncture one of the corners, and cut up. Like so. So I got one side cut. I'll cut across. You're only cutting 3 sides, so one across parallel to the bottom of the flap of the pizza box, and then the 2 sides. You want to leave the top because that's how you're going to prop it open and have the sun harness the heat. Have it harness the heat of the sun. Okay, almost done. There we go. That's our square. I'm just going to crease it because we want it to hold open when the box is closed. So that's our first step, cutting the top open of the pizza box. So yours should look like this. This is the original top. I'm gonna close it, and then this stays open. The next step is to take your aluminum foil and one sheet we're going to use to cover the inside flap. Fold it over and we'll tape it to the back of the top. Alright. My aluminum. Sit it like this, and at the bottom, and then just fold it over top. That's my box. Make sure it's flat. There's a little extra, but like I said, you can tape it down. If you think it's too long, you can carefully rip some of it off. Take your clear tape and tape down the folds. More across the top. And there you have it. Our insulating sheet. For our next step, we are going to open the original lid, and we're going to take our plastic wrap and cover the hole on the inside with 2 sheets of plastic wrap and secure it to the lid with your tape. If you're using a freezer bag, cut the square out, remove the zipper, and cover the hole with 1 sheet of the bag. If your hole is large like mine, then just cut the bag out, open it up the whole way, and then tape it to cover your hole. you use a freezer bag, again, you only need one layer. If you're using plastic wrap, you will need 2 layers to make our insulated top. So I'm just measuring to make sure it's long enough. And it is a bit tricky to work with because it likes to cook on itself. So turn it over. And just carefully lay it down as straight as you can. And then taping it down. Like that. Okay, the next step involves our black paper. So, did you guys know that black paper absorbs heat? Yeah, that's why we're going to use it on the inside of our pizza box to help us attract as much heat as we can to melt the cheese onto our bread and the marshmallow and chocolate onto the graham crackers. So depending on how large your box is will determine how much paper you need to use. I have 4 sheets here, and I'm just going to try to, as best I can, cover the sides. And the black construction paper is also where you will set your food. Alright, and it should look like this. Alright. So, take this moment now to assemble your sandwich. 2 slices of bread and some shredded cheddar cheese and 2 graham crackers, halves, or 1 sleeve of one cracker broken in half, some chocolate and a marshmallow, and I will join you outside. I forgot one thing, guys. To help insulate and retain the heat that is absorbed from the aluminum through the plastic wrap and onto the black construction paper, use that newspaper and roll it up and place it in the corners, kind of like what a jacket does for us in the winter time to keep us warm. So roll it up into a loose hole and stick it in the corners. Tape just to hold it down a bit. Actually, Same tape might be a good idea. So it doesn't move around. All right, that looks good. Now let's go outside. So here is the solar oven with our grilled cheese and our s'more with the thermometer set in the middle. It looks like its internal temperature is between 100 and 125. And I have another thermometer here on telling us what the outside temperature is, which is reading 83.1 degrees Fahrenheit. See it right there? And so we're just gonna probably do a time lapse to see the results of our creation. Now you may notice that I am using a coat hanger because the ruler I had was too short to hold the top up and at the correct angle for us to get as much heat into our oven as possible. The best hours to set your solar oven outside is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. You take it out to a sunny spot and adjust the flap where it can receive the most sunlight possible, reflecting on the aluminum foil and onto the plastic covered sheet. So I'll just lift it up for a close up. I'll set it back down. Keep a track of the temperature. You can also, to help with having to adjust the top, use a paper towel rolled up and stick it underneath the box to tilt it at an angle, probably at the back so that it tilts forward towards the sun. Other suggestions to put in your solar oven: bread and butter to make toast, a hot dog, or making nachos, so putting chips and sprinkling it with a little shredded cheese are also fun things to make in your solar oven. If you wanted to reuse your solar oven that you made and you didn't want to place the food onto the black paper so you don't have to keep changing it out, you can use a clear plastic or glass plate. That would help insulate the meal or bounce back the heat onto the food. All right, so we're going to just let time do its thing, and we'll show you the results in a moment. So we have outside temperature of 96.3 degrees, and inside it says it's about 100.5, and I can see that our chocolate around the edges is getting a little soft, and our cheese is looking a bit glassy, so it's melting. And I just want to explain what is happening right now. Our solar oven is also called a collector box because it's collecting the heat from the sun and holding it inside the box, and it eventually will warm up the food inside to melt it. So we'll give it a little more time outside and we'll see what happens. Look at that. Chocolate's melted. Okay, so we're just about done here. Our thermometer is reading about 125. Your solar oven can get to be about 200 degrees Fahrenheit on a sunny day. Today it's a bit cloudy and the sun is going in and out, but we did pretty well. It took about 45 minutes for the chocolate to melt and the cheese to get this glossy. Just want to, before we test how our snack tastes, to let you know how this works. So how does this happen? How does the sun heat up our food? Well, the sun is coming into the earth at an angle, and as it comes down, it hits our collection box here in the aluminum foil, and it pushes the heat rays into our plastic. It goes through the plastic and hits the black construction paper that absorbs the heat. Now our newspaper insulates the corners so that it keeps the heat inside the box and it doesn't escape out the edges. And the rest is just time. The food is heated by the air that is heated up by those heat rays that are trapped inside the box. And that's how we cook food. Now, it is a slower process than using a traditional convection oven, but if you wanted to make something that would cook faster, you can reheat something that's already been cooked before, like leftovers or fondue. But I would just give you a pro tip that if it's a liquid, stir it first so that it can distribute the heat, because when you heat up liquid, it likes to heat up the top first, and you want to distribute all that heat through the entire container. So I hope you guys have a great time making your solar oven, and that you share what it looks like in the comments on our Facebook page. To learn more about Earth Day and to check out Earth Science books and other experiments, visit us at www.scpl.org. Also, a couple tips have been posted on the Food Co-op website, either the one in Niskuna or the one in Albany, the Honest Way Food Co-op, on how we can be better environmental conservationists or environmentally aware, and that is reducing, how much meat we eat, how much food we waste, reusing things instead of buying things new, and also recycling and reusing what we do have. So again, happy Earth Day. Next Monday, tune in for Miss April, who will be showing you how to make bird feeders. And this is Miss Chanasa wishing you a happy Earth Day week, and to remember to keep reading, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Oh, but before I sign off, let's take a bite out of what we created. Alright, so here's our chocolate. Here's my s'more. I'm going to squeeze it. Oh, look at how gooey it is. Take a look. And here's our grilled cheese. I'm going to put it together. Not as melted as I'd want it to be, but you can keep it up. But the bread is definitely toasted. And so you can try that. I think I'm going to eat the s'more because it's making a mess. Mmm. Mmm. Delicious.